うまいっすね。まあラーメンもうまい、正直、大好き。
どっちもできてないか。やっぱり餃子が食べたくなっちゃうので。
おすすめのメニューは
チャーハンっすね。餃子よりもチャーハンです。
It's not about making money or anything. Yokiken. Starting from the pre-opening preparations. Ishimura-san, the second generation owner. How many pieces of roasted pork are you preparing? Tomorrow is already a weekday, so not that many. How much do you prepare for a busy day? You see, there's 4 in here now, plus 4 more. When we are busy, we use triple the amount. On busy days, around 24 pieces are used. The roasted pork is pork belly. Arrival of staff. Sorting out the newspapers. The owner's mother is also still on site. I get hungry just by looking at it. Preparing their famous jumbo gyoza. How many years have you been running the shop? 61 years since the last generation opened it. A long-established izakaya that's been operating for over 60 years. We're talking about my gyoza shop. The roasted pork is being prepared by steering it in homemade soup. Many people come just to get the roasted pork as a souvenir. Making filling for gyoza. One of their characteristics is the seasonings we use are quite common. And we use the cabbage as it is, unsqueezed, which we're very particular about, because the sweetness of the vegetables is lost if you squeeze the cabbage. I let it sit overnight, and it's like it loses the liquid on its own. I guess this may be what separates us from other shops. How did the jumbo gyoza come into being? It's actually been a thing since the first generation. There was a college campus nearby, and they wanted the students to eat lots and lots of vegetables, or something like that. It's gotta be tough wrapping up these huge gyoza, right? Well, actually, I can't really wrap up the small ones. Small being the normal-sized ones. But the ingredients we used in the table by the first generation. Exactly, they're the same. All that's remained from the first generation are the gyoza. Then, everybody had their own way of doing things, and the recipes changed as well. Times also change. That's how, well, the roasted pork also used to be. But now, because no one uses it anymore, everybody switched to ribs. I guess that's just the way it is. Or rather, more like a trend. Ever since the first generation, preparations have been the same. We've had the original base, and we could add or subtract elements from that. As the second generation, he's been helping out in the shop since his elementary school days. The food has evolved with the times. Throw in cut cabbage equal to around 20 heads. The original sweetness remains, and the cabbage is unsqueezed. A large amount mixed by hand. The liquid remaining in the cabbage makes it heavier, which in turn makes this work very straining. When do you start in the morning? At around 6. First, you gotta make the noodles. The ramen noodles as well as the gyoza skin are all handmade. The shop is flooded with fans due to their focus on handmade products. Making just one gyoza takes this much time and effort. Until when are you open? Last orders at 7:30. But recently, we haven't had lots of guests in the evening. Usually, we sell all of them around noon. So they're sold out? Exactly. We're thankful for that though. It's just that we were thinking about making extra, but well, they're all handmade, so it's just that we can't make that many. This place here, was it on TV or something related to YouTube or TBS maybe? Terebi Asahi, wasn't it? Anyway, there was a special program about Takasaki city. It received the highest comfort of living ranking all over Japan. It was kind of a special report or something. The reaction to that must have been pretty big. Big indeed. We couldn't keep up with it. We're still grateful, but because it's all handmade, making large amounts is difficult. They sell out early in the day. It's better to come early, it seems. The kitchen is hot, which is draining on the body. The amount of labor and the cheap prices don't even out. It's too cheap. After mixing the filling, the liquid is lost naturally. By doing so, texture and flavor are maintained. Why do you dimple the middle? So the liquid is drained quickly. The cabbage is a little soft this time of year. It really depends on the season, doesn't it? The cabbage is more solid in the winter. But in summer, it's kind of an issue. You need to adjust the amount of liquid you remove. That's right. The difference between summer and winter cabbage is a common problem in gyoza shops. In the back of the shop, there's a spacious tatami room. Many people come from far away to get takeout meals. The wife of the owner is also lending a hand. It really is a true family business. Some people come to order takeout before business hours. Are there many orders for souvenirs? There are, yes. On weekends, or in the evening, or at dinner time. I don't know if they bring it to their friends, but people get them as gifts, yeah. Has the price increase of raw materials affected you? Well, yes.
影響はありますか？
いやか
Everything has gone up.
してますから
油から何から
はい
ですもんね。
もう
It's just that, since you run a shop in the city, I'm sure you're aware, we're in the countryside, which means we got space. So if there's a price increase by the vendors, we actually buy in bulk. Because we have enough space to store all of it, except for things that go bad quickly. So we can do that to some extent. Have you changed your prices?
そういうことは、
もちろん
I do think we have to increase prices in many ways.
もう去
Since the
年
end
去
of
年
last
の
year,
暮れぐら
prices
い
have
から
gone
もう
up
上
for
がってる
certain
もの
raw
は上がり
materials.
始めててまあまあ
You're in the same business, so you know what I'm talking about. Oil is twice as much as before. Still, I think vendors in this area keep their prices slightly cheaper than those in the city.
思いますけどねでもやっぱり
It's quite serious in that sense. The prices on the menu are low though, aren't they?
まあこの辺まあ
As you can see, being in the countryside also plays a part. There are no places up for rent in this town,
あんましいないんですよ
so everybody does it out of their own homes. For example, in downtown Takasaki and Maebashi,
話は違うん
it's a different story. But comparatively, labor costs here are cheaper. A little. It's completely different if you compare it to the city.
そういうのもあるしまあでも
All the shops in town adjust and raise their prices while looking at the prices of other shops. I wonder if that's really how it is though.
ねやっぱり経営
I got a business advisor I talked
する
to.
んだけど
He says,
って言われて
"Can't you do it at the same price?" Well, I can. Then control yourself. That's what your guests like the most, isn't it? And when he says that, yeah, well,
今まで
even the vendors who've been so patient with their prices said, "We can't go on like this. This place is bustling. When it comes to raising the prices,"
でまあ
my friend also said, "We don't know how much it'll be, but
なるのかなって
it depends on the flours and oils. They say they'll go ahead of schedule and increase the prices once more in September."
言われてるんでねやっぱりそういう意味では
Guess I'll also have to think about raising prices. I'm just saying, while you can do it, you can think about it, but if you can perform your work like in no other place, then you can differentiate yourself from the rest. For example, if you have a thin profit margin, that's more like shops in the city operate. But then again, customer numbers differ too. If only you could apply that to the countryside of Yoshii. That'd be nice, I thought. But that's why we're not leaving for Takasaki or Maebashi. Instead, we'll pull the customers from over there to here. If we put in the effort, it's alright, even if the profit margin is thin. We just put in the physical labor for that. If we could just get guests like that, it would be great, I thought.
いいのかなってすればやっぱり
That's what guests like the most too.
いいんだろうし
But by all means, not many people live around here. So we need people coming from different places. If we want to run the shop like they do in the city, we do need more people coming here deliberately. If not, it doesn't make any sense. So that's why we gotta start differentiating ourselves. That's something on the list. The question is just when we'll be able to. But that's a different problem.
ここでじゃあ
Let's say we went up by 50 or 100 yen. People are gonna go, well, it's not that big of a change. There will be guests like that, surely. But on weekends, people show up from out of town and out of prefecture. Basically, there aren't many tourist destinations or stores around here. So it's mostly guests that come on repeat visits. Thinking about that, it's really that some of my friends come around 2 or 3 times a week for lunch.
ことを考えるとやっぱりね
While we personally don't eat out that much. It's a kind of expense for people that eat out daily and are financially limited.
だから
If we sell to these guests,
やってるっていうこと一商売をやってるってなると
it's like, as long as we can show restraint with the prices, we'll do so. The price increase of raw materials poses a serious issue. Many shops have to make hard decisions. Yokiken's policy is written here. Finally, the dumpling filling is ready. Let it sit overnight so it loses the liquid. Pre-order gyoza are starting to be fried.
朝いらっしゃるの知りまして。
Exquisite frying. The gyoza are bigger than your fist. Jumbo gyoza are being wrapped. How many grams per dumpling? It's 130 grams. A typical dumpling weighs about 20 grams. Right, from 20 to 30 grams. Yeah, but still. It doesn't matter how big they are, they're still gyoza. The price doesn't change that much either. No matter how far you go, gyoza are gyoza. Well, my wife and my mother, and everybody here, even my nephew and niece, can all wrap dumplings. Only the skin is an exclusive craft. I've got someone who comes in to stretch the skin. That one comes in every day a week. Stretching the skin is something that kid does faster than anyone else. I'm grateful for that.
その方がじゃあいないと困っちゃうんですね。いやーね、だからやっぱり
Anyone catches a cold once in a while, but someone being absent hurts, so someone else has to fill in. You must have had a hard time so far. There are stories like that all over. I heard a lot when I took over the shop. A lot happened. Also in relation to the gyoza, they said the taste changed. The preparations were all made in-house, ever since the first generation. Thinking about that now, it's not like the parent-child relationship has a set recipe. I dropped out of high school and started here at 16. At first, I made the filling, while my predecessor made the seasoning mixture. And then, as it's raw, otherwise you won't know the taste. It's not like you're gonna die, they said. So I remember the taste. I firmly remembered it for myself, and now here we are. So even when it comes to parents and children, we're all different people after all. It's not like we can make the exact same thing. So now I'm able to do it. Run this shop one way or another, in the end in the same way as the first generation. But from the same starting point, which we haven't crossed yet, and I don't think we have. It feels like we're able to put in the work, on the same playing field. What are you, as the second generation, particular about? The most important thing is to make the guests happy. And that's, again, we're in the same business, so you know what I mean. We're not in a position to serve bad food, are we? So when you think about it, what makes them happy? So what I think is, huge amount, but still cheap, is the way to go. The shop can make a loss in many ways. It's a plus for the customers, I thought. Without raising prices, there are also people thinking, if you can do it, just do it. In that sense, that might be the best way. If you ask me, I'd say I manage the shop with an old-fashioned mindset. I see worth in taking action, committed to his beliefs while looking cool from behind. It's time to open the shop. Phone orders start ringing in. A shop standing alone in the middle of nowhere. Preparing soup for set meals. Another phone order coming in. Business on standby while gyoza are starting to be fried. $40 pieces in one go. Are there customers lining up before opening hours? Lately, that's been the trend. Someone who stood in line. My kid had it once and said, "Lots of veggies and so tasty." I came from Shibukawa. I ordered 10 pieces before. Got asked by my friends to buy them. Go and get some, they said. Tasty, aren't they? Well, the ramen is good too. To be honest, I love it. What's the reason you frequent this place? It's the jumbo gyoza. Yup, jumbo gyoza. How many minutes to the shop? From my house in Shibukawa, around 50 minutes perhaps. And my cousin from Yokohama, he comes all the way from Kanagawa, deliberately. I told him about the place and he was hooked. People from far away come all the way just for these dumplings. Try them once and you'll become addicted, it seems. You'll be able to eat these vegetable-filled gyoza heartily. Opening of the shop. The kitchen is calm before the storm. Ramen bowls are being prepared. Orders come in one after another. The popular seared roasted pork. The ever-increasing number of slips. Orders that have piled up are taken care of in one soup. Seafood champong. Seared chashumen. Here's the very popular fried rice. You can watch it all the time. The best combination for takeout, ramen and gyoza.
わかんない、まだ入ってないかも。火が
入ってない。お土産のやつに。
The mother's in charge of wrapping gyoza during business hours. Miso ramen.
ケイちゃんカウンターに麺あげちゃっていいですか。
Ramen with all on top.
取ります。6番で。
まだ。
ああ、ブリンコのことやね。パンにお願いします。
All the ingredients are handmade by the second generation. Half portion of fried rice. People are lining up as always. I had gyoza and sashimen also.
チャーシュー。
It was tasty.
どちらからいらっしゃった。
I came from Kumagaya.
ここまでどのぐらいかかりますか。
It takes about 1 hour to get here. I've wanted to come here before, because it's so tasty. I hope they keep up the good work. Ramen.
はい、それなら大丈夫です。はい。そうなんですけど。その混み具合によってお時間が異なるので。はい。お疲れでした。何名様ですか。失礼します。
Special chashumen, ramen with all on top. Yoki ramen. Special chashumen, ramen with all on top. Yoki ramen. Today I just had the Chinese noodles. It was delicious. It tasted good and the flow speedy. The gyoza were tasty, but a little big. I'll take the leftovers home as a gift. I couldn't finish it all up. It's reasonable, isn't it? Chinese noodles are usually 500 yen. I'd love for you to keep the shop running for a long time to come. Kokuma ramen.
はいはい。中華お酒ですね。皆さんごめん これカウンター入り口側の方に出してもらっていい？半チャーハン出しますのでお願いします。4番、3番、1個ずつ。4番、3番、1個ずつ。
Many guests who are on tours come here on weekends. Ramen with all on top.
店長これ麺一番ね。普段はね。
Usually the owner's wife is in charge of the gyoza.
ああ、すごいですね。
ちょっと待って、やめて。あ、いいよいいよ。入れちゃって。
I've been running around this place ever since I was 16. I just want to rest for a bit. But look, they're coming from far away, like I said. The first generation opened the original shop in Ikebukuro, Tokyo. I was wondering if I could go back there. Time's limited though, I guess. Even if we wouldn't stay in Ikebukuro for too long, the shop's been here in Gunma for 45 years almost. Would it work in Ikebukuro, I wonder? I'd like to try it though. If we'd really go for it, I still remember the address of the old shop. If I were to ask my buddies over there, they wouldn't know the place, even if they went there, they say. But I remember the address of the place I was, just in case. Of course, that place isn't around anymore. Someday, yeah, I'll return, even if I'm on my own. I want to try it. Whether I'll be able to make it over there is besides the point. I'm just inclined to give it a try. So regardless, I'll just go, without the set intention of making money. The first generation originally wanted to run the shop in Ikebukuro, and yet they came all the way to Gunma. Our kid's still small, so we'll also consider a move like that, if things settle down a little. I'm 53 now, so 7 years to go till I reach 60. Well, my kid will be in high school by then, and thinking about that, it wouldn't be all too bad not being around for a year. Does your kid help out? No they don't. They're not the type to do so. Sometimes they'll say, I'll do it. The time hasn't come yet. They're still in junior high school after all. Having them see different places might be better, but we're like the final stage. As a man, he thinks about challenging himself. As a father, he thinks about his child. I really want to support this passionate second generation. The stormy peak time has subsided.
今日はちなみに何を買われたんですか？
I had gyoza. I came from Ota City. As expected, I felt like eating gyoza. I try to stop by whenever I'm in the area.
大田からだとどのぐらいですか？
But it takes over 1 hour. It's cheap, comes in large portions, and it's delicious. Good luck in the hot weather.
前からすいません。ただの醤油ですか？はい。
最初に来たのはいつぐらいですか？
でも
I've been coming since I was in junior high school. The gyoza are bigger than the usual size, amazingly big and delicious. Gyoza and the fried rice to go. The fried rice they got here is tasty too. Any recommendations? The fried rice, more than the gyoza actually. I recommend the fried rice over gyoza. It's really cheap, really. I think it's a good place. Keep it up. You got my support.
$6番さん、はい。はい。いらっしゃいませ。はい、おいくつでしょうか。右前。はい、ありがとう。はい、あとね、すき焼きと待ってね、もう1個乗っけても平気。3つ3番なんだ。とりあえず2つでいっちゃおうか、ないから。はい。3番に。はい、陽気ラーメンのお客様が、はい、すいません。はい、全部のせいです。
Let me order something too. Jumbo gyoza. As big as a smartphone. Seared chashumen. One bite doesn't affect the amount. Filled with sweet cabbage, insanely delicious. Homemade curly noodles, irresistible. Firm and gooey, just the way I like it. Thick roasted pork, and as many as 4 slices. Too good. Lovely shop. I'll be back again. Thank you for the meal. End of sales as soon as sold out. Closed. 15th and 26th of every month. 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Last order at 7:30. 37-4. Shiokawa, Yoshiimachi, Takasaki, Gunma, Yokiken. Please support them with comments and positive feedback.